some people want a little more tough love with their accountability. And you know, it's tough. That's tough. That's tough for me. If somebody is telling me that for their process, what they need is for me to grab them by the lapels and shake them and say, where are the results? Where is the podcast? I mean, I'll do it. I will do it. I'll do it. Hi, welcome back to Lorrankydank Accountability. This is the corner of the internet where we help multifaceted people juggle multifaceted projects. I don't know, man. I'm still working on these intros, but I feel like that kind of covers it, you know? The people that I'm talking to are mostly artsy-fartsy postgrads who have a lot going on in their heads and a lot going on in their lives, and it makes it hard for them sometimes to like prioritize certain personal projects. So that's what this space is. Today, I really want to talk to you about just something that I feel like is a really bad habit that we need to drop. We need to leave behind us if we ever want to thrive in this life at all. At all. I swear that you're going to find this terrible habit relatable and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to get to it. But before we do, I want to give you like a little teeny tiny personal anecdote. It was roughly Thanksgiving time, 2023. I was on a video call with my niece and my nephew, who were 7 and 5 respectively. And they were telling me about how they had just come from the movie theater. They had just seen the new Trolls movie and they were really excited about it and they wanted me to go see it too. And I love this stuff. I love it. I love when they give me little movie recommendations and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, guys, that sounds awesome. I think I'm going to go see it too. I think I'm going to go see it next weekend. And I had this picture perfect image in my mind because it was Thanksgiving time, like I said. So a few weeks later was going to be Christmas. And I love going home for the holidays and then kind of sitting at the kids' table and in front of all the other grown-ups, like showing that like we have a rapport. Like I have something in common with the 7 and the 5-year-old, and the Trolls movie franchise is that's the perfect thing. I mean, what's not to love? Anyway, this particular Christmas, all of a sudden, just in a moment, my niece turns to me and she's like, so what did you think of the new Trolls movie? And I remember just feeling so like bummed because I still hadn't gone to see the thing. And I felt bad. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. I still haven't seen the movie. I haven't gotten a chance to go see. And she looked at me like so concerned. She called me out on it in front of everybody. She was like, but you said you were going to go see it. And you said you were going to go see it the next weekend. The other adults in the room kind of thought it was sweet but strange that she was pressing the issue. But I understood exactly where she was coming from. Like, she was not wrong. I did say that I was going to go see that movie, and I still hadn't, and I didn't have an excuse. I don't know. Other things came up. I'm a grown-up. Things come up, right? And she didn't let me have it, you know? She just was like, okay. And this is something that really stuck with me. Because there is a difference, isn't there? There's a huge difference between the way a little kid reacts when like we say we're going to do something, but we don't do it, versus another adult who's like, yeah, I get it. We're grown-ups and things come up and I'm not like counting on you to do the thing you said you were going to do because I don't know. I don't know why I'm not counting on you to actually follow through on stuff. It's just like a learned behavior. It's like I've been disappointed so many times by grown-ups who say they're going to do something. They say that they're about it, but they're not really about it. It's just a normalized, terrible habit. And that's the thing that I want to talk about. I want to be like, I want everybody to check in with this. Are you guilty of this? Do you say things like, oh, I want to start a podcast, for example. I want to start a podcast this year. And then the year goes by and you didn't start the podcast. And everybody's like too polite to call you out on it, or they don't care. They're not invested in it. But you did want to start the podcast. That much was true. That's not a lie. It's just you're saying that you're going to start one and then you don't. And then you kind of get away with it and nobody makes a big fuss over it. And it's seemingly harmless, this little lie that you're kind of like telling yourself, I'm going to do what I need to do to start the podcast, but then you don't. I mean, is it harmless? Is it harmless because this is a thing that you really wanted to do and you're not letting yourself have it? Harm is done. Okay? First of all, you're not letting yourself have the thing that you said you want. And there isn't a good reason for why you're not letting yourself have it. That's already bad. Next thing is, what if your podcast was going to be awesome? So you're depriving an entire audience of something that maybe could have helped them and made their lives better. That's harm done. And then not to mention, what if your podcast is so awesome that it's pulling in a bunch of money and you could have been hiring crew members. These are full-time jobs we're talking about. You could have been creating jobs for this terrible, terrible economy, this awful job market. You could have been helping with that problem and you did not. That's more blood on your hands. I mean, I don't mean to be so dramatic. It's just that, like, why do we do it? And I'm guilty of it. Like I just told you, like I'm guilty of it. I'm addicted to this drug. Also, I'm trying to figure out how do I get myself out of this cycle. I want to distance myself from this very bad habit because I do want to thrive. I do want to live a life that I want to live fully and completely. And so I understand the struggle. I've talked before about the importance of journaling. I think that writing stuff down is a really great way to build awareness of what you are actually doing. What does your current life actually look like? What are you doing with your time? If you can't account for where you've been or what the hell you're doing, it's going to be really hard to nail down exactly why it is that you can't get that personal project started. It's all kind of just in the air and it's hard to track. It's hard to see. And it's much easier for you to let yourself off the hook because you're so overwhelmed. You're going to look for any answer, any reason to just be like, this wasn't my year because fill in the blank. Anything goes. Any excuse is going to be a good enough excuse. And nobody's going to call you on it except for a perplexed 7-year-old. So, I mean, that could be like a tip for you is to imagine that you have to explain to the 7-year-old why you're not letting yourself have the podcast that you want to have. Bring the receipts. Show them. Tell them exactly why you, a grown-up, can't get up off your duff and just produce the freaking podcast, man. Just get it done. What's the problem? What's the issue? Tell them. Explain it to the 7-year-old. If you can't, if all of your answers are like, I have so much going on. Okay, then you need to cut something out. Oh, well, I have these like mental health issues and because of the mental health issues, I can't have a podcast. So anybody who has mental health issues can't have a podcast? Is that what you want to teach the 7-year-old? Oh, well, the thing is, I need a producer, but I don't have a producer. And so I have to be my own producer. Isn't that true? Isn't that true for everybody that starts a podcast? Isn't that true for anybody who starts any sort of DIY anything in their home? Don't they all need a producer? So they have to start out as their own producer? The 7-year-old does not care about these flimsy excuses. She does not care. It's not going to work. It's not going to cut it. Her face will not become untwisted. You can't explain away why. Because you can. That's my point. My point is that you can. Prioritize the thing that you really want to prioritize. Whew. Why am I ranting? As you may or may not know, I form these things. They're called Lorrankydank accountability teams. When people have a hard time sticking with something that they say that they want to stick with, they might need an accountability partner. And I have offered up completely for free. My service is completely for free. I will match you up with somebody that I think would be a good accountability partner for you. And then you two can hold each other accountable for whatever the priorities are, whatever the projects are that you need to focus on. Okay? If you need that, hit me up. Let me know. You can comment, you can DM, you can message, whatever. Get in touch. I'm not hard to find. Okay? Don't be shy. But I recently asked for feedback about how these teams are going and what it is that people might want from me to make this process a little bit better. And what I am told is that some people want a little more tough love with their accountability. And it's tough. That's tough. That's tough for me. On the one hand, I just don't want to have to give it. I would prefer if people just, I don't know, want their thing bad enough. If you want to start a podcast, just get the podcast done and check in with me and I'll hold you accountable, But something that I'm learning is that everybody's got a different style. Everybody does have a different, special, unique mind. If somebody is telling me that for their process, what they need is for me to grab them by the lapels and shake them and say, where are the results? Where is the podcast? I mean, I'll do it. I will do it. I'll do it. But I don't think that this is a one size fits all solution. I don't. But I don't think that the things that I've been saying so far in this here little video, I don't think that I think that this tough love is universal. I think if you really want to do something and you say you're going to do it, follow through. You can't rely on anyone but you sometimes. So if you say that you want to do something and that you're going to do something, if you tell that to yourself, then with your actions, deliver. With your actions, don't get in your own way. Don't lie to yourself. Don't take this away from you. You deserve this podcast. You work so hard all the time. You should have a little something nice in your life. Your family will support you. Your friends will support you. This is something that you truly want. Get after it. And if in the process of producing that podcast, you learn some new things about your lifestyle, your environment, the people that you've surrounded yourself with, good. These are good lessons. If somebody's trying to block your blessings, let it be someone who is not you. Find out. Find out. Find out who supports you and who's trying to get in your way. Get them out of there. But don't let it be you. Don't let it be you. You got to be your best ally. You got to be your best teammate. You got to have your own back, man. You got to produce that podcast. I want to hear it. I'll subscribe. I will. As a matter of fact, I don't have an audience right now, but if ever in my life I do have one, if you're working on a creative project right now and you need a little bit of extra heat, a little extra hype, please drop a link. Drop a link in the comments. We will support you. This is the corner of the internet that's about support. We get things done here and we cheer for each other when we do. Lorrankydank accountability. If this is fun for you, if this is interesting to you, please hit me with a little subscribe. Hit me with a like. Hit me with a share. Whatever. Trying to think if there's anything else I was supposed to say. Oh yeah, I still haven't seen that Trolls movie. Trolls Band Together 2023. It's still on my list. See, I'm not perfect. I'm bad. I'm a bad girl. But I'm a pretty decent accountability buddy. That's what you can really get out of this. I should go. I should go right now and watch the Trolls movie. I don't have a real job right now, so I'll let you know what I think about the movie. I swear. I will once I have seen the movie, which is I'm gonna go watch it right now. I'll comment, watched it. See, this is accountability. I'll watch it and I'll tell you. I'll say I loved it. It was so good because I love the Trolls movie franchise. It's a little something about me. I gotta go.